Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that, when fully understood and embraced, can change the course of your life. It's not a secret. It's not some magical formula. It's discipline. You see, the world will tell you that freedom is about doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that's not freedom. That's chaos. True freedom isn't about abandoning all structure. It's about gaining control. Control over your time, your actions, your mind, and your future. Discipline is the key that unlocks this true freedom. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates freedom. At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. We often hear about freedom in the context of doing whatever we want, whenever we want. However, true freedom doesn't come from the absence of rules or the absence of responsibility. It comes from the ability to create and maintain the kind of structure that allows you to live life on your own terms. Freedom isn't about a lack of restrictions. It's about having the power to control your environment, your time, and your actions. And that power comes from discipline. Discipline, in its simplest form, is the ability to control your actions and behavior, even when it's difficult. It means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the habit of making decisions today that will serve your future self, regardless of the obstacles or temptations you face in the moment. This might sound like a burden at first, but when you understand how discipline works, you'll realize it's the very thing that gives you the freedom to pursue your dreams and live the life you want. The reason discipline creates structure is because it forces you to set clear boundaries. When you're disciplined, you make intentional choices about how you spend your time and energy. Instead of allowing distractions or impulses to dictate your behavior, you establish a routine that supports your goals. This routine may include waking up early, exercising regularly, prioritizing important tasks, and limiting activities that do not serve your long-term interests. With discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of every passing whim. Instead, you're in control, choosing the actions that will get you closer to where you want to be. But it's not just about having a schedule or a list of things to do. The structure that discipline provides also creates a sense of stability. In a world filled with uncertainty and constant change, having a clear, structured approach to your day can give you a solid foundation. You know exactly what you need to do, and you know when you need to do it. This certainty removes the anxiety of wondering what comes next or feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life. It allows you to focus your energy on what matters most instead of reacting to the chaos around you. Moreover, structure isn't about rigidly adhering to a set of rules for the sake of control. It's about building habits and routines that align with your goals and values. When you create structure through discipline, you're building a life that reflects your priorities. You're not just filling your days with random tasks, you're intentionally crafting the life you want. The more structure you have, the less time and energy you waste. You can streamline your actions, making every moment count. When you're disciplined, your actions are guided by purpose, and purpose gives your life direction. Now, let's talk about how this structure leads to freedom. Many people equate freedom with the absence of restrictions, believing that true freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But this kind of freedom is short-lived and ultimately unfulfilling. It's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that a lack of structure will lead to greater happiness. But without structure, you're left adrift with no clear path to follow. When you don't know where you're going, any road will do, and none of them will lead to lasting fulfillment. On the other hand, when you create structure through discipline, you give yourself a framework within which you can operate. This framework provides the stability you need to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, and to chase the opportunities that truly matter. By knowing exactly where you stand, you're better equipped to navigate life's uncertainties. You're not paralyzed by indecision or overwhelmed by the endless possibilities. Instead, you can make confident, deliberate choices that align with your goals. The freedom that comes from structure allows you to focus your energy on the things that matter most to you. It enables you to pursue your passions, invest in your relationships, and create the future you desire. When your time is well structured, you can allocate more of it to the activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, because you've eliminated the distractions and unnecessary tasks that consume your energy. The more disciplined you are with your time and resources, the more freedom you have to direct them toward the things that matter most. The structure you create becomes the foundation for a life of purpose and meaning. It's also important to understand that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about consistency. No one can maintain rigid structure all the time. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be moments when things don't go according to plan. But the key is to stay committed to the structure you've created, even in the face of challenges. When you falter, it's not the end of the world. It's an opportunity to recommit, refocus, and get back on track. Each time you discipline yourself to get back to your routine, you reinforce the structure that ultimately creates your freedom. Additionally, discipline isn't just about your external environment, it's about developing internal control. When you are disciplined, you learn how to manage your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions. The freedom that comes with discipline is the freedom from being ruled by your impulses and desires. You no longer let your emotions dictate your decisions. Instead, you choose how to respond. This kind of self-mastery is incredibly empowering. It allows you to stay calm and focused in challenging situations, to avoid making rash decisions, and to stay true to your values, even when tempted by distractions. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds over time. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, builds on the one before it. The more disciplined you are in one area of your life, the easier it becomes to apply discipline in other areas. Over time, these small acts of self-control add up to create a life of freedom. Discipline in one area leads to success in others. The structure you create in your health, your work, your finances, and your relationships allows you to experience greater freedom in all those areas. You'll have more energy, more financial security, more time to spend with loved ones, and more peace of mind. Ultimately, discipline is the gateway to freedom. It's the tool that allows you to take control of your life and create the kind of future you want. It's not about restriction or deprivation, it's about choosing a life of purpose, focus, and intentionality. When you discipline yourself to create structure in your life, that structure becomes the foundation of your freedom. You'll have the freedom to pursue your passions, to take risks, to build the life you've always dreamed of, and to live it on your own terms. So, if you want to live a life of true freedom, embrace discipline. Build the structure that will support your dreams, and use that structure to navigate the challenges and opportunities life throws your way. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you'll have to create the life you desire. True freedom comes from controlling your decisions, not from avoiding responsibility. This concept challenges the common perception that freedom is simply the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want. The modern world often associates freedom with a lack of boundaries, rules, or obligations, but in reality, true freedom arises when we take full ownership of our actions, choices, and responsibilities. It is through responsibility that we acquire the power to direct our own lives and create the circumstances that align with our deepest values and aspirations. Freedom is often misunderstood because it's perceived as a carefree existence, where people are not bound by any obligations or constraints. This view can be tempting because it promises liberation from discipline and structure. However, this superficial sense of freedom leads to chaos, indecision, and unfulfilled potential. Without responsibility, we become victims of our circumstances, tossed around by external forces, and incapable of shaping the future we desire. It is only by embracing responsibility that we gain the control necessary to make empowered decisions and create the life we want. When we take responsibility for our decisions, we shift from being passive participants in our own lives to being active creators of our destiny. Every choice we make, no matter how small, is an opportunity to shape our future. Responsibility empowers us to take the reins of our lives, enabling us to set clear goals, make intentional decisions, and take actions that move us closer to those goals. By accepting full responsibility for our circumstances, we also acknowledge our power to change them. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the key to unlocking our ability to create the life we truly desire. This doesn't mean that we control everything that happens to us. Life is unpredictable, and external factors can influence the course of events. However, what we do control is how we respond to those events. Freedom comes from the way we choose to interpret and react to the challenges and obstacles that life throws our way. It is the ability to choose our attitude, our mindset, and our actions, even when we face adversity. By taking responsibility for how we respond, we assert control over our lives and reclaim our power. When we take responsibility for our decisions, we stop blaming others or external circumstances for our lack of progress. Instead of complaining about the things we cannot control, we focus on the areas where we can make a difference. This shift in mindset is essential for personal growth and success. When we refuse to take responsibility, we give away our power and place the blame on things beyond our control. We give up the opportunity to learn from our mistakes and grow stronger. Taking responsibility, on the other hand, means we stop making excuses and start taking action to improve our situation. This principle applies not only to our personal lives, but also to our professional lives. In the workplace, those who take responsibility for their work, actions, and outcomes are the ones who rise to the top. They don't wait for others to tell them what to do. They take initiative, seek solutions, and take ownership of their roles. In contrast, those who avoid responsibility often find themselves stuck in mediocrity, waiting for someone else to solve their problems or make decisions for them. The ability to take responsibility in the workplace is what sets successful individuals apart from those who struggle to move forward. Moreover, the idea of freedom through responsibility extends to our relationships as well. In any relationship, whether personal or professional, taking responsibility for our actions, words, and behaviors is essential for maintaining trust and mutual respect. When we take responsibility for our part in any conflict, we acknowledge our role in the situation and create an opportunity for growth and resolution. In relationships, freedom comes not from avoiding difficult conversations or blaming others, but from taking responsibility for our actions and working together to find solutions. By doing so, we build stronger, healthier connections and create an environment where both parties feel empowered to speak their truth and make positive changes. Taking responsibility also means accepting the consequences of our actions. We can't control everything, but we can control how we handle the outcomes of our decisions. If we make a mistake, we don't run away from it or try to cover it up. Instead, we face it head on, learn from it, and take steps to correct it. This mindset of personal accountability is what separates those who thrive from those who struggle. Those who refuse to take responsibility for their mistakes are doomed to repeat them, while those who embrace responsibility grow stronger with each lesson learned. One of the most powerful aspects of responsibility is that it creates a sense of empowerment. When we accept responsibility, we acknowledge that we have the power to shape our own lives. We understand that our choices matter and that we are the ones who determine the direction of our lives. This sense of control brings with it a deep sense of freedom, the freedom to make decisions, the freedom to change course, the freedom to build the life we envision. In this way, responsibility is not a limitation, but a catalyst for growth and achievement. The more we take responsibility for our lives, the more freedom we gain to create the circumstances we desire. However, embracing responsibility does not mean we have to do everything on our own. It doesn't mean that we have to take on the world's problems by ourselves, or that we should never ask for help. Responsibility also means recognizing when we need support and taking the initiative to seek it out. It's about taking ownership of our needs and finding the resources or guidance necessary to achieve our goals. It's about understanding that we are responsible for building a support network, seeking mentorship, and asking for assistance when needed. True freedom is not about isolation. It's about knowing when to take control and when to collaborate with others to reach our desired outcomes. The process of taking responsibility can be challenging, especially in times of hardship or failure. It's easy to want to point fingers or shift blame when things go wrong. But when we take responsibility, we empower ourselves to change our situation. We stop being passive victims and become active agents in our own lives. This mindset shift is essential for personal growth and success. The more we take responsibility, the more control we gain over our lives. And with that control comes the freedom to shape our future, regardless of the circumstances that may come our way. Ultimately, true freedom is not the absence of responsibility, but the presence of self-mastery. It's about mastering our choices, our reactions, and our decisions. It's about being accountable for our actions and understanding that the power to shape our future lies within our hands. The more we take responsibility for our lives, the more freedom we experience. Responsibility is not a burden. It's the gateway to true freedom. It's the freedom to live authentically, to pursue our dreams, and to create the life we desire. By embracing responsibility, we reclaim our power and unlock the true potential of our lives. Small, consistent actions lead to long-term results. This principle is at the heart of personal success and transformation, yet it is often overlooked. People tend to focus on large, dramatic changes or sudden breakthroughs, when in reality, lasting success is more often achieved through a series of small, deliberate steps that accumulate over time. The idea that small actions, repeated consistently, can lead to significant results is a powerful concept that applies to nearly every area of life, from personal growth to financial success to health and relationships. We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification. The culture of quick fixes encourages us to seek immediate results, whether through dieting fads, get-rich-quick schemes, or shortcuts to success. This mentality can be enticing, but it rarely leads to sustainable results. Real, lasting change takes time. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate progress, but the truth is that success is built over time through consistency and commitment. It's about making small, positive choices every day, even when the results are not immediately visible. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to overlook the power of small daily actions. We often think that in order to achieve something significant, we need to make a huge leap, take a big risk, or drastically change our lives overnight. But when you look closely at the stories of successful people, you'll see a different pattern. Their success is often the result of small, consistent actions repeated day after day. These actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but when compounded over time, they add up to extraordinary results. Take health and fitness, for example. Many people want to lose weight, build muscle, or improve their health, but they often seek shortcuts. They try extreme diets, excessive workouts, or even consider surgery. But the people who experience lasting transformation are those who focus on small, consistent actions, making healthier food choices every day, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. These actions may seem insignificant in the short term, but when practiced consistently, they lead to long-term health improvements. The key is sticking with it, even when progress feels slow or invisible. The same principle applies to financial success. Many people dream of achieving financial independence or accumulating wealth, but they often focus on big, risky moves or instant wins, such as gambling, speculation, or investing in high-risk ventures. While these tactics might offer quick rewards, they often come with high risks and are unsustainable in the long run. The true path to financial security and wealth is through consistent, small actions, saving a portion of your income, investing wisely over time, and living within your means. These small actions, repeated consistently, lead to wealth accumulation and financial freedom. It's not about making one big investment or landing a massive windfall. It's about consistently making the right choices over a long period of time. The same holds true for building strong relationships. People often think that relationships are built on grand gestures or dramatic moments, but the truth is that strong relationships are formed through small, consistent actions of kindness, respect, and communication. It's about showing up consistently for the people you care about, being there in both good times and bad, and nurturing the connection with thoughtful gestures and attention. A quick text, a small act of kindness, or simply listening attentively to someone can be the foundation of a strong, lasting relationship. These small actions, when repeated consistently, create trust and deepen the bond between people. When it comes to personal growth, the power of small, consistent actions is just as relevant. Many people want to change or improve, but they struggle with the idea of making big, dramatic changes. The reality is that personal growth is not a one-time event, it's a continuous journey. Small daily habits like reading a few pages of a book, practicing gratitude, journaling, or reflecting on your goals can have a profound impact over time. Personal development doesn't require a radical shift in behavior, but rather the consistent commitment to improving by a small degree each day. Over time, these small efforts add up, and the person you become as a result of this consistent growth is drastically different from the person you were when you started. Consistency is the key to unlocking the power of small actions. While we may get excited about a new project or goal, it's easy to lose momentum over time if we don't remain consistent. Success doesn't happen because of a sudden burst of effort, but rather because of the steady, persistent effort we put in day after day. It's about showing up even when we don't feel like it, continuing to work towards our goals even when the results are not immediately evident. It's easy to become discouraged when progress is slow or hard to measure, but the reality is that the small actions we take today will compound into significant results tomorrow. The compounding effect is one of the most powerful aspects of small, consistent actions. Think about it: if you make just one small improvement every day, you'll be dramatically better at the end of the year. If you read just 10 pages of a book every day, you'll have read over 3,600 pages by the end of the year. If you save a small amount of money each month, you'll have a solid nest egg built over time. This compounding effect is what leads to extraordinary results from seemingly insignificant actions. The key is to stay committed even when the progress feels slow. Over time, the cumulative impact of those small actions will create a lasting transformation. In many cases, it's not the big, flashy moments that define our success, but the small, quiet choices we make every day. It's the decision to wake up early and work towards your goals, even when you don't feel like it. It's the choice to say no to instant gratification in favor of long-term rewards. It's the commitment to doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. These small decisions, repeated day after day, create the foundation for long-term success. Success isn't about making one big breakthrough or having one moment of glory. It's about the consistent, everyday actions that lead to mastery, growth, and achievement. It's easy to get overwhelmed when we think about our big goals and dreams. The journey can seem long and daunting, and it's tempting to look for shortcuts or quick fixes. But the truth is that lasting success doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from the willingness to take small steps consistently, day after day, even when progress feels slow. The key to achieving your goals is not in making one big leap, but in committing to the process of small, consistent actions that lead to lasting results. It's the daily commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when the rewards are not immediate. So, as you embark on your journey towards success, remember that small, consistent actions are the building blocks of long-term achievement. Focus on what you can do today, no matter how small, and keep showing up, even when the results are not immediately visible. The power of these small actions will compound over time, leading to results that will surprise you. Success isn't about doing something grand all at once. It's about doing something small every day with commitment and consistency that leads to extraordinary outcomes.